Hi again. John Karel von Baalen, Chaos of Cults, is discussing Spiritism. Now he's talking about the explanation of the phenomena. And he talks about Spiritism in two categories. And the first, of course, is fraudulent Spiritism. But he also grants that there is a bona fide Spiritism. Here's what he has to say about fraudulent Spiritism. There is so much counterfeit Spiritism that the appraisal of the phenomena becomes a complicated task. Under the cover of darkness, the spirits are said to be sensitive to light, and with the aid of electricity, phonographs, and numerous other modern inventions, there is not a genuine spiritistic phenomenon that cannot be reproduced, 100-fold for commercial reasons. There is a host of well-organized crooks who gather information concerning prospective dupes in the most systematic manner, who carefully file such information for future reference or sell it to other mediums. With the information obtained beforehand, the sitter is duly impressed with the knowledge of the medium. The voice of the spirit is produced seemingly from the ether, and the dupe is gradually enslaved by the medium until he is advised where to invest his capital. When the victim at last awakes to the fact that he has been misled, the medium goes scot-free. She has only plied her religion. Thus, a gang of crooks discovered that a sitter was a musician whose favorite master was Brahms. A supposed medium, an able pianist, herself actually memorized the chief works of Brahms. The sitter was then asked to summon his favorite musician through the medium, who sat at the piano in a supposed trance and was guided by the spirit of Brahms to play the master's works called for by the sitter. Struck with awe, our musical dupe surrendered to the medium, lost his fortune, and committed suicide. The extent of this fraudulent spiritism is so large that it is difficult to know where it begins and where it ends. Then in a footnote, he talks about the size of this business. This side of the matter is well described, Van Baalen says, by E.H. Smith in an article, Crooks of Ghostland, that's the Saturday Evening Post back in 1920. Also, Behind the Scenes with the Medium, by D.P. Abbott, and Houdini's Spirit Exposés, and Dunninger's Psychical Investigations, that was published in 1928. In I've Unmasked 1,000 Frauds by Mackenberg and Fishman, in the Saturday Evening Post of March 1951, Miss Mackenberg asserts that she has never found a genuine medium. Julian J. Proskauer in Spook Crooks, that is, in 1932, and also in another work, The Dead Do Not Talk, 1946, discusses some of the new rackets sprung up because of the deaths of the armed forces and the boys who were missing in action. He states that he has never seen, quote, a true believer in Spiritism give advice in what stocks to buy, how to invest money, how to cure an ill, prescribe medicine, or in any single way do anything that a priest, minister, or rabbi would not do, end of quote. Among the new rackets are scotography, future scopes, spirit motors, and lots more. Proskauer estimates from police records that a $250 million income for charlatans is a modest figure for 1946. And that would have to be at least tenfold by now, probably more like 15-fold. So billions of dollars in charlatan spiritism. He goes on, but our difficulties increase when we consider the fact that even genuine psychics have been caught in fraud time and again. This is supposedly due to the fact that psychic force does not always work when the medium wants it. Consequently, when the scene has been set for a seance and the sitter expects results, the medium often resorts to trickery. Thus, the Fox girls admitted that their early raps were achieved by the snapping of the joints of their toes. Eusapia Palladino, most famous medium in her day, was caught deceiving at least twice. In short, the original PRS, that is Psychical Research Society, which consists of eminent scholars and has investigated spiritistic phenomena since 1882, has found only 2 or 3 mediums above suspicion during a period of 40 years. To this one may add that such prominent advocates of Spiritism as Sir William Crookes in 1874, Light in 1909, and Sir Conan Doyle in 1919 have admitted that there is no test known whereby we may determine whether information which does come from departed spirits come to us bona fide or from a naughty spirit or poltergeist bent upon deceiving. Besides all this, good spirits may attempt to convey a message through a medium's control, the spirit who communicates with her in her trance condition. But the control itself at times seems to take a wicked pleasure in twisting the information of the good spirit. Thus we have a confused mass of information by so-called Shakespeares and Carlyles who cannot spell their own names, and upon such dubious sources we depend for our information concerning the hereafter. However, let us give our Spiritist friends the benefit of the doubt. Let us rule out of court the fact that undoubtedly the bulk of Spiritistic phenomena is deceptive, and likewise the consideration that it is very difficult for the average man to know whether he deals with a fake or with a genuine medium, and she in turn with a true or a fraudulent source of information. In other words, let us consider now bona fide Spiritism. Next time. I'll put in a link to Johannes Graeber, a known Spiritist, and the Watchtower, and the strange parallel between their teachings. This is a series we did, a short series of short videos, maybe 4 or 5 of them altogether. There's the first one on your screen, and they're linked together. Truth from Two Tables, a document we did with reference to the Watchtower's teachings years ago. See you soon.